Well, hello there, fellow makers and prop tarts. Bill here. It's time for Prop Live Q&A, and you've got, or we have, a wonderful, fantastic guest with us today. It's Anna Folkenstal. You can go check out all her stuff at Folkenstal.com, which you should. Anna, how you doing?
Hey, super fine, thank you. How about you?
I'm doing awesome. Working on some fun behind-the-scenes stuff and enjoying the wonderful cold weather we have here up here in Seattle.
Oh, it's cold.
Yeah.
You have snow?
It's not snowing. No, it's raining though, and it's lame.
Oh, okay. We have, unfortunately.
For those of you who have not been following what Anna's been working on lately, you can go to Folkenstal.com, which I've got up on the screen right now, and check out what she's been working on. I have been enthralled with the super fun, creative things you've been building, mostly because I've been playing through Skyrim again.
Yeah, everything's still Skyrim since years and years.
Yup, there are so many games new games I could be playing right now, but I'm playing Skyrim again. So, for example, I've got the Dwarven Lip Balm up, which I think is just a wonderful idea.
Yeah, glad you like it. It's very special. Yeah, actually, I think a friend of mine came up with it. I'm not sure exactly, but yeah.
So that's the Dwemer oil, right? The component, like that's what that looks like, and then you turn it into a lip balm container, which is wonderful. Some of the other fun stuff that you've been working on, including like tiny jewelry of weapons, which I want to talk to you about pewter casting in a little bit.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But you're also making lights, and am I right that you're making soap as well?
Soap, yeah.
So Soul Gems is soap, which again I think is really creative. And sweet rolls. Are the sweet rolls also soap?
Yeah, sweet rolls. We have honeycombs. We have the newest one is actually in the making.
Yeah.
Is this giant's toe.
That is a giant toe, isn't it?
It is. Oh yeah, that's the newest and biggest soap so far.
Oh, that's awesome. So you've been doing a ton of pewter casting. I've done a little bit myself. And we're actually gonna have an updated video soon on pewter casting. But one of the things I saw you doing that we tried out and it worked really well is we have a melting pot for the pewter, and then we'd scoop out some pewter and then pour it. And what we found was better, because I saw you doing it, was just to melt your pewter right in a small container and then pour it directly from that container. Yeah.
Yeah, I just heat it up in here with I don't know if you call it Bunsen burner.
Yeah.
Maybe. So that's it. Yeah.
Well, that's perfect. That way you have access to a whole lot of pewter, and it won't get, because it cools pretty fast and it'll set up really fast. Definitely. Yeah.
And the biggest problem is also it's very soft. Sometimes when you have like thin jewelry, it can really you can just bend it.
Yep.
So you have to be careful somehow.
I will say I have this, my wedding ring I made myself. This is pewter, and it's held up fairly well.
Oh, that's the one I've seen, right? Is it with the Nordic knots?
Yeah.
I've seen this one.
It does get dinged up and scratched quite a bit, but I've worn it for a year or two now, and it seems fine. If it does get ruined, though, I have a mold. I can just make another one.
Exactly. That's the great part. You can do it at home. You don't have to outsource it, because that's the main problem.
Yeah.
I don't have access to people who could do this cheaper, so I have everything at home.
Some of the new ones, actually, the Ring of Hair Sign, I guess you would call it.
It's Her Sign. I don't know.
Yeah. I just did that quest.
That's fun.
Oh, you've got it up on screen there. That's awesome. Now, I need to know, though, if someone was to buy that, is it going to be cursed when they get it, or have you gotten rid of the curse?
I actually have tons of rings made, and Hercene said it's okay.
Okay, good.
Everything's safe. So I have Hercene's blessing.
Okay, good. That's good. That is awesome. Well, I've been having just a ton of fun keeping up with these wonderful small pieces you've been doing. I love the small weapons, and of course, they're all Skyrim stuff. So.
Yeah, it's all Skyrim.
The folks at home can follow along with your adventures. Just look up Folkenstal on Facebook and Twitter and all the wonderful places, and keep an eye on what she's up to. Do you have any fun, cool new projects? I mean, you have your Giant's Toe there, but do you have anything else that you're looking forward to starting up?
I have so many projects right now, but I've started a Champions Link Tunica.
Ooh.
So I want to do his outfit. That's the next one I want to do. And yeah, I have a huge list of projects for this year, but I don't know how this can work out because it's a lot. I don't know where I even am.
Yeah, I have a similar list. I have no idea if I'm going to get all that done. But that's good. You're ambitious, obviously.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I will start a part-time job in March.
Mm-hmm.
So I will work 70%, and the 30% I can just scoop right into the prop making.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Let me see here. What else? We've been what did we just put up? I just put up a video on painting with oil paints. Do you ever use oil paints for weathering, or do you mostly stick to acrylics?
Oil paints. Actually, it's acrylics, or I have a new thing I've seen someone is using on Instagram. I don't know his name anymore, but he recommended this. Yeah. I don't know. It's a graffiti pen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I tried weathering my jewelry, and it's actually perfect for that.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Molotow makes they make a chrome paint that I just ordered some, and I want to try that out. I didn't realize they made other stuff though.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can if they have a website. They do. Hey, look at that. It is not in English. That looks like maybe German.
Okay. It's not in English. Is it German? I didn't even know.
The website is, well, it looks, I don't know any German, but if I had to guess, I would guess it's German.
Well, I got it on Amazon. I don't know.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's awesome. I just dropped the website in the chat there if you guys want to check that out. They have really cool chrome paint pens, which I've got some that I'm going to be playing with really soon. The video that we just put out was using oil paints to weather space guns. So if folks haven't had a chance to check that out.
Yeah, I will check the video out later. I've seen you put something up, but I didn't check yet.
Mm-hmm.
And is it working?
Yeah, it works awesome. It's Ray's blaster, which is right. Hold on, right behind me. There we go. So I've made a bunch of these. This one's for me. I'm actually gonna keep this one, but it's just some really nice subtle weathering to kind of dirty it up a bit with. I like oil paints for that because you have a lot of control over them. They take forever to dry. But that's what I've been working on. And we are working. What else do we have? We have a couple of big projects coming up. We're going to be making a costume for our buddy Jazza, so that'll be fun.
Who?
Jazza is an Australian artist, illustrator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I have a question. I have a question for you. Do you have any mannequins that you keep your costumes on?
Yeah, I have 3 right next to me.
Yeah?
But yeah, one is male and 2 females.
Yep.
So. But I have so many costumes.
Yeah.
I store them in my closet right now, and I just don't have space anymore. It's just this tiny room, and I need to expand like you probably do now, but I really can't. So it's just here in the corner, a couple of mannequins. We
just got our first mannequin so that we can build a costume for Jazza. So but it's a full male, legs, arms, head, everything, a full human form. And it's in the shop, and I forget that it's there. And if I walk in and I see it out of the corner of the eye, it freaks me out.
Okay.
So Brittany turned it around and put a sign on it that says "not real."
Oh my And she put some horns on it, so it's even creepier now.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So we got a mannequin. If we can find a link, we'll put it in the show notes. It was like $80, I think. Pretty good. The arms can, yeah, the arms can pop off when you have clothing on it, so that you can dress it easily, which is I thought was really cool.
Well, mine are $80 or more, but they just have the torso and the head, and that's all.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, fine. It's cool.
So Brittany might be able to find the link for that and show you guys if you want to go check that out. Before we dive into questions, I want to point out that if you're watching live, you can submit prop and costume making questions to us at punishprops.com/live. You can do that right now if you want. We'll get to those in just a moment, but first I want to jump over to the Prop Tart page and see what they've been up to. So this is the Facebook page, the Prop Tarts Facebook page. If you aren't a part of the group, you can go on over there and join. There are now how many people are in there?
I am a Prop Tart.
Yay! 4,400 members.
Join.
This is great. Let's see. We've got someone working on an Iron Man arm, which looks amazing. Our buddy Eric, aka Core Geek, got a thread started talking about Work in Progress Wednesday. People were showing stuff that they are in the middle of. Let's see. Andy here is working on some armor, and Steve picked up a Nerf gun to paint. So lots of really fun. There's a couple of Nerf guns in there, so a lot of fun projects. If you guys are looking for inspiration or looking for help, or you want to share your project or see what other people are up to, head on over to the Prop Tart Facebook page and go say hi. It's a friendly group of people over there. We like them an awful lot. Other than that, I think I'm ready to get started. Just quick pointing out that CreatureCast is this weekend. We hope everyone has a fun and safe weekend at CreatureCast. I have never been there, but it seems like it's really fun.
Same here.
Are you planning on going to DragonCon again this year? I hope.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Awesome. Cool. We will be there. I already have my hotel room.
Oh, yeah, we too. Because
awesome.
It's very hard to get.
Yes, it is. We have a blood pact with the Hyatt. We're in.
Oh, that's actually my goal, but we have a smaller Marriott.
All right, you ready for some questions?
Yep.
Okay. Blitzatrex has a question. Curious about your ideas for new items to sculpt and make into things for soaps. I'm curious too. Like, how do you pick? Soul Gems seem like a pretty good lock, but how do you pick which things you want to turn into like a soap or a light?
I don't know how I come up with my ideas. As I told before, the dwarven oil was an idea of my friend. I think she's in the chat right now. I'm not sure if it was her idea, but I think it was. But sometimes just ideas pop up like, yeah, I could do, oh my God. And then it's just like, yeah, okay, I know what to do. And the idea just pops up, but not all the time.
What made you want to do a giant's toe?
Giant. Actually, someone on my Facebook page, I think we had something with soap in general, and she told me to make a giant's toe, and I was like, ew, okay, but hey, why not? So there it is, giant's toe.
What is that sculpted out of?
That's all epoxy sculpt, and it has a foam, XPS foam core.
Very good.
So it's not that heavy.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Were you correct me if I'm wrong, but were you live streaming while you were working on that?
Yesterday, actually, yeah.
And that's Folkenstal on Twitch?
Yep.
Awesome. Everyone go follow Folkenstal on Twitch so that you won't miss the next time when Anna's sculpting some sort of creature's digits.
I hope this will be the last disgusting thing I did. I mean, it's really... Ew!
Brittany is in the chat. She says, can we make the giant's toe into a jerky? That's gross.
Into a jerky? Okay.
You know what? You have the mold, though. You could make it out of Jell-O, maybe. or if you make a food
For
safe
Halloween.
mold.
Yeah, and then serve it to my friends for Halloween. That would be nice. Oh God, imagine that.
These are, yes, Phoenix Revival. These are important questions. Thank you, Blitzatrex. Good question. Next one here comes from Zero Cool Prop Shop. If you could go back in time when you just started out and give yourself advice about the prop experience or business experience, what would your advice be?
Oh, that's a hard question. Maybe I would tell myself, my younger self, I would tell her to go and check out marketing, especially social media marketing and
Yeah.
how to do it right, because I'm a total noob. So still a noob. I'm just learning. So I would tell her that. Yeah.
That's good. That's good advice. Along the same vein there, I would read the book, The E-Myth Revisited, right away. There's also another book I started reading. So E-Myth Revisited is a business book. It's great for small businesses, and it's kind of like it gives you the direction for your business. But the other book I started and I really need to finish it is called Small Time Operator, and that is more of a textbook about like mechanically the things you ought to do. Like forming your corporation, taxes, bookkeeping, all of this sort of nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
So I recommend those books. If you go to punishprops.com/business-talk, we have a bunch of business stuff there, including links to a bunch of the books that I've really liked lately. But the E-Myth Revisited is like small business 101. Everyone starting a business really ought to go read that. I wish I read that 6 years ago.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
I will keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I will just get that book right away.
It's really great. Other than that, I mean, the other thing that I would tell myself is that to be more flexible. Where my business was 6 years ago versus now is completely different, and it's changed a lot over the years. And I didn't expect that. So if you're just getting started, expect it to change, and just be flexible with what your business is what it wants to be, the thing it wants to grow into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I have to figure out now because as I said, I will work part-time in March, so I have these 30% I can just really invest into see how my business could work, and so yeah, I will start with it right now.
That's good. Thank you, Zero Cool Prop Shop. Hopefully some of that was useful to you. And anyone else who wants to dive into any of the business stuff that I've ever put out, just go to the punishprops.com/business-talk and go watch all of that. There's a ton of good stuff there.
Chocolate toe. Oh my God.
A chocolate giant's toe.
For Valentine's Day.
Yes, that's perfect. Let's see. Neon Emily T is curious. Is curious if the Punish Props crew will be at Emerald City Comicon. It's her first year attending, and I'm excited to see all the awesome costumes making Marion Hawk from Dragon Age 2. We will be there. Punish Props, me and Brittany will be there. I'm going to be on at least one panel, I think. But other than that, we're just going to be hanging out. We'll just be around. We'll do a meetup. When we know more about that, we will let you guys know when that's going to be. We do that every year, usually by the smoothie stand and the
Smoothie
down a
stand.
couple. Yeah, there's a like a healthy smoothie store.
Oh, healthy. Okay.
Oh yeah. We'll let you guys know more about that, but we will be there, and I'm very excited to see your hawk costume. Thank you for the question. Kite has a question. Let's see. We've got some visual reference here. Kite is making a Chinese mountain pattern. There's an image linked below, and I will post the link in the chat right now so other people can go see it. Boop. There we go. Trying to recreate this for some armor and looking for some references. So I guess it would depend on what material you wanted to make it out of. And Brittany even found a good example of one made out of foam.
Wow, that was fast.
Yeah. So wait, this is mountain scale is what this is called. Now I'm totally new to this, but it's this particular pattern, but it's really cool.
Looks nice, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think you would knock that? I would do it out of foam. Do you think you'd probably try and do it out of foam as well?
I would probably go with pewter. No, just a joke. With foam as well. Yeah.
We have more links that we'll post there, but Gelo Grayson, I believe, did something like this recently. I've got a picture up here. He did it in foam. There are lots of different methods you could do, but he basically made the that shape and then cut trenches in the back of it so that he could make there. Brittany put a link to his page in the chat there, so that he could make the crests on the top of the pieces there. And I don't see why you don't just do it that way, because it looks like it would work out really well.
Definitely looks great.
Yeah, awesome. So if anyone else wants to just post the answers for all these questions, that would make my job a lot easier. I love being able to connect people. Like if someone has a problem, something they're trying to figure out, and someone else has figured it out. It's like, you guys just hang out and I'll walk away.
You walk away.
I just want to take a moment to point out that TNT Cosplay Supply is here. And we just got an order of TNT Cosplay foam in the mail today.
Wow.
I'm very excited to crack it open and make some stuff. So thanks for joining us, you guys. And thank you, Kite, for the question, and good luck making your armor. All right. Skylar has an interesting question. I'm not quite sure what he means, but he says, how do you respond to people calling cosplay Halloween? I don't know that I've ever heard anyone specifically call cosplay Halloween, but for me, it's like Halloween is super fun. I get to do that almost every weekend if I want to. I mean, it's a great excuse to dress up on more than one day out of the year.
Maybe they just have this issue in the US, because in Europe usually don't say it's Halloween. They usually say it's maybe, I don't know, theater, or it's Mardi Gras, something like that.
Is Halloween, do European countries celebrate Halloween? I have no idea.
In Switzerland, no, unfortunately, because it would be very fun to do.
Yeah.
And decorate our apartment. But yeah, we don't celebrate.
No. All right. Well, you can cosplay whatever you want, which is great.
I could walk around during Halloween, go to work with, I don't know, as a vampire.
Yeah.
Just the whole day. That would be fun.
Cool. Yeah. So there you go, Skylar. Next one, Maker Geek has a question. He has his maker space in his 1-bedroom apartment. He's curious if casting and molding materials give off toxic fumes when curing. If so, are there resin and silicone materials that don't?
Okay.
I don't think. I mean, like if you're melting down pewter, I imagine you're using a lead-free pewter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's lead.
So unless you spill hot metal on yourself, you probably don't have much to worry about, right?
No. Yeah, I work with lead-free because of all the allergies, and also it's not very great to have lead on your skin.
Yeah.
I just opened the window, and that's all actually.
Yeah.
I myself a couple of times.
Yeah. The silicone, I don't think there's much in. I mean, in most commercially available silicones, it's not toxic. It doesn't give off any fumes. Resin casting, urethane does give off fumes. Usually, unless you're like huffing it, you're fine, but it's not a bad idea to work in a well-ventilated area. The stuff you want to look out for is like polyester resins. That stuff's pretty nasty. So a lot of like fiberglass polyester resins and stuff, you don't want to be casting that in your apartment. And if you're casting a lot of like urethane resin, like you said, maybe just by a window and vent any fumes out the window. You should be okay. Of course, if you're worried about any of that, you ought to wear a respirator with an appropriate filter.
But he or she, was it he or she?
I don't know.
Have a 1-bedroom apartment, so it's just one room.
Yeah, yeah.
They can do their casting in their bedroom. Yeah, so that's a bit difficult. Maybe they just need to leave the room for a while.
Yeah, yeah. But definitely, like, have a window and a fan going to just any fumes at all can go out there. If it smells bad, like if you leave the room and come back in and you notice a smell, then it's probably bad news. You should probably work in a more well ventilated area, or at the very least have a fan going out a window. Yeah. But of course, as always, read the material safety data sheet on whatever you're working with, and whatever material suppliers you're getting stuff from, ask them what the best practices are. So we have Smooth On. We actually have a Reynolds nearby now, and they're awesome if you have questions for them.
Yeah, also you can ask them online. I mean, they have a great customer service.
Yeah.
I always use it when I have a question. It's just like, write them and they will write you back.
Yes, they will. Thank you, Maker Geek. Safety. I'm glad that you're safety minded. Corey of 9 has a couple of great questions for us here. He says, he's curious because recently SpaceX launched a car into space, which was awesome. He's curious if either of us have a favorite spaceship. That's a good question.
Favorite spaceship?
Yeah.
Oh,
like
wow.
The Millennium Falcon's pretty cool. My favorite spaceship, and I have a toy right here, is the Snowspeeder from Star Wars.
Yay!
In fact, I have many of them, including this really tiny one. I have a really tiny one. And I have slightly bigger ones. I have a lot of snow speeders, so that's my favorite.
That's really cute.
What is your favorite spaceship?
Oh wow! I'm so into fantasy and medieval things like Skyrim. I do sci-fi sometimes, but it's really very limited. I couldn't even tell you what spaceship. I only know the Enterprise.
Yeah.
That's the only one I really know by name.
So like Next Generation Enterprise, like Jean-Luc Picard and Riker, that one?
Yeah, I've seen those, yeah.
Yeah.
The older one. The older one.
Yeah. That'd be pretty good. I like
Jonathan Frakes was the last one, I think, I've seen.
Awesome. Another question here from Corey of 9. Very, very important questions, of course. Curious, when will we see the elusive Paige / Redbird props outside of the chat? That's our employee, Paige. She lives south of here. She's in Portland, about 3 hours away. And while we are working to get her up here, she lives far enough away that we don't grab her on camera very often. But over time, I mean, we are moving, or hopefully we will convince her to move to Seattle. Then she'll be around all the time. Otherwise, most of the work that she's doing is like behind the scenes stuff, working on the website. In fact, she's got a project I don't want to talk about right now yet because it's still very much in the early stages, but a really cool project she's working on for the community that we think is going to be awesome. But for now, she is elusive. But if you want, you can go follow her on, just look up Redbird Props on Instagram. That's a great place to follow her. See what she's up to. She's making some Mandalorian armor. And
she will be at DragonCon as well, I heard.
I think so. I think you're right.
So.
Yeah, and Emerald City, too. I think she's going to make it up here for one day at Emerald City.
Oh.
She is not in the chat. She's busy working. Which is very good.
Okay.
Thank you, Corey of 9, for the questions. Albert G is curious. He's building or making a Lycra morph suit. So he's making an outfit out of Lycra fabric. Curious what kind of paints are good for painting that.
I think you have experience there, Bill. I never painted any bodysuits yet.
No. We used Createx paints, just normal airbrush paints, for the Draugr costumes. Those were those are the same thing, the Lycra morph suits. createxcolors.com is the place for it, and then Createx Airbrush Colors. You want to make sure you get the opaque ones. Let's see, they have, I'm looking at the website right now, they have a bunch of different ones, some that are kind of transparent. Yeah, opaque and fluorescent colors, transparent colors, pearlized colors. For fabric, you're going to want the opaque colors just so it covers really well. And then you can airbrush it on your bodysuit, and then you can put it in the dryer, and it will thermoset the paint. And then you'll wear it, and it will last forever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Washing 100 times is no problem.
I haven't washed my Draugr suit that often. I have washed it, just not that often.
Good.
Let's see. Be a Hero Cosplay in the chat is talking about using fabric medium. You can totally do that if you want to add a fabric medium to any acrylic paints that you have to brush on. And in fact, I think our buddy Garrick Backer has a video on that. If Brittany can find the link for that, she'll put it in the show notes. Thanks, Britt. Cool. Good question. Thank you. That came to us from Albert. Jeremy has a question. He's working on an item that he wants to cast in clear resin and add a fluorescent blue pigment to it and adding LEDs. Do you think this will work to make a really cool glowing piece? I think it will work. How would you do that, Anna? I'm going to bring up a picture of some lights you made.
Yay! Oh yeah. So fluorescent pigments, I have those at home. It's called Glowworm from Smooth On.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried using them with, don't do this, it's Epoxy Cast 690. And it's a very clear resin, but because of the slow curing time, all the pigments just go down and you have bottom. So you need to have a resin that really cures fast, but usually you have bubbles there. So you need to have a pressure pot, some kind. And that's the secret.
Yeah.
So you have clear resin, and you have the pigments that are in the whole piece, not on the bottom.
Yep. You could use urethane resin like Smoothcast 325. That cures in about 10 minutes, and if you put it in a pressure pot, good to go.
Yep. Exactly.
The Epoxy Cast, as the name would suggest, is an epoxy. So if you have something that you want to be perfectly clear, and you have a long time to let it set, that would work just fine without a pressure pot. But for the additives, yeah, you're right. The faster setting stuff is going to be awesome.
It works very well for my crystals with the pearlescent powder, because they're so fine and tiny. They just float around. They don't settle at the bottom. But with the glowworm, it's heavier somehow, so it just sinks at the bottom.
There you go. A good excuse. If you're going to do a lot of gem casting, it's a good excuse to get a good pressure pot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Good question. That one was from Jeremy. Great question. Dean has a good one. He's a big fan of the Pip-Boy mod that I did. He's planning on attempting a similar repaint. How do you remove all the knobs on the front, especially the radio knob and the Pip-Boy, as the fear of snapping it off is holding him back? You've done if I can remember correctly, you've done a Pip-Boy.
But where exactly was the problem?
So the knobs on the front of it, he wants to remove them for painting. And he's
the knobs on the front.
I'm trying to find a picture, but
I'm on the old Pip-Boy, but I don't know which knobs. On the left side, maybe.
Yeah, I think it might be different because the one from Fallout 4 and the one from Fallout 3 are slightly different. Yeah,
I made that one from New Vegas. I think it's the same one like Fallout 3.
Yeah,
I think.
So when I did mine, I mean, I did a video on mine. So when I was taking it apart, I was filming it, which was really helpful for putting it back together. I could just go watch the old video. So I will say, no matter what, if you're taking something like that apart, take photos or video as you're taking it apart so that you know how to put it back together.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I'm taking something like that apart, I'm not worried about breaking it because I have a shop and I can fix it. I can always glue it back together. And if it's a Pip-Boy and it's supposed to be post-apocalyptic and it looks kind of broken, that's fine because then it just looks like it belongs.
Yeah, it's always battle damage.
Yeah.
Always. And it works.
That's correct. So there you go, Dean. Just go nuts. You'll be fine. Just film yourself taking it apart so you know how to put it back together.
Well,
next question is from Nick. And I'd just like to point out you guys are bringing some awesome questions today. So thank you very much. Nick is curious about CreatureCast neoprene. Which is very similar to like latex, except that if you have a latex allergy, you can use neoprene, which is awesome. How long should I wait between coats to apply a second coat when brushing it on? And how long should I wait between coats when spraying it with a critter gun? Yeah, a critter gun is just a siphon-fed spraying gun. I've only ever used the black CreatureCast, and it comes out gray, and then when it turns black, it's dry. So once it's a darker black, then you're ready to go for the next layer. And you can always like hit it with a heat gun or a hair dryer would probably be better to help speed up the drying process. But once it's no longer that gray color, once it's a darker black, then you're good to go to brush on or spray on another layer. Have you had a chance to play with any of that stuff, Anna?
Nope, unfortunately never. But maybe one day I will go into creature and latex, and because it's very interesting. I've always wanted to do a werewolf costume.
Yeah.
But it's somewhere in the future, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We like it for coating foam, for sealing foam. If you get there's different levels of rigidity. The more rigid stuff, you can actually sand it really well. It's still pretty flexible, and you can just paint it with acrylic paints. You don't need rubber cement paint. You don't need anything special. So there's a lot of pluses for the CreatureCast. So.
And you don't have any problems with the movements and with the joints?
No, it's pretty flexible, which is nice.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Nick. Hopefully you give CreatureCast a try. The guy that sells it, Mark, lives down in Portland, and I got to visit his shop, and it was really cool. He makes masks. Next one is from It's a Trap. How do you mask super thin lines? He's talking about using one of those Molotow liquid masking pens. That's cool. Any experience with those? So if you have to make a really thin line, how would you do that?
If we have a foam piece or something like that, or what?
Oh, like a prop, and you need to just
thin line
mask off a really thin part of it.
Yeah, I would probably mask it off with, I don't know, I've only done it with my laser musket, and they have some arrows on it, but so it wasn't really hard to do, but very thin lines. I don't know, with masking tape or with a pen, with a very thin pen, maybe. Yeah,
he says that this Molotow website, they have a masking pen, which is new to me. That sounds really cool. I usually just take a piece of masking tape and cut a really thin piece of it off, and then stick that down. That's what I would do. You can even...
I think I've seen that masking pen somewhere, also on Instagram. I don't know his name anymore, but I think it was a gun, and he masked off some parts of the gun with that tape. Maybe it was this one, yeah.
All right, I found it on Amazon. The masking fluid pump marker, 2 millimeters wide. That's kind of cool.
Wow.
It's got only 3 out of 5 stars on Amazon, so it might not be the best thing ever. But I would just, if it's a thin straight line, I would just cut a really thin piece of masking tape. That's what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. That came to us from... he says... It's a Trap says that taping was a pain, and it lets some paint get underneath. Masking is kind of a pain in the butt if you want to do it really well. It's super tedious.
It is.
Yeah. If you put down some masking and you want to make sure that nothing seeps under it, you can spray clear paint on before you spray the next color. Or let's say the base coat is red, and then you put your masking tape down. You could spray more red over it, so that red will seep down under the masking tape if there are any gaps, and then you put your color on. So that way nothing is going to leach under it. You can do that with clear or your base color, and that should help you out too. Cool, thank you. It's a Trap. The next one is from Exploding Coyote. And curious about cold casting, something else that Anna has a lot of experience with. He's curious about using some different clear resins, like 325. If you're doing cold casting, like the Dwarven oil container is cold cast, right?
Yeah, I use that's not clear. That's cold cast. I used Smooth Cast 300 for that. Mm-hmm. So that's all actually, and brass powder.
Yeah,
that's all I use.
And then, do you tint the resin any particular color?
Yeah, it's usually I try to adjust it to the brass color, so it's more like a brown yellowish tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exploding Coyote is curious if you were to use 325. He says, I know it seems odd to do that with a clear resin, but I was wondering if that could give any cool effects. I found that the metal powder just covers it completely.
Yeah.
But
just one layer.
But you could dust your mold with your metal powder, and then if you have a spot where you want light to come out, you could carefully use like a Q-tip and some rubbing alcohol to wipe the metal powder off of that spot, and then if you were to cast in your tinted 325 or whatever, that would make a little window through the metal powder.
Yeah, that reminds me of my Stahlraim dagger. I actually tried this once because it's blue. It's clear blue. Oh, yeah. And it's only partially, it just has this nice texture, and it's only partially like with that pearly powder. And so I just wiped this off, all the erased bits, I just wiped them off. So I have the other with the pearly blue, and it works, yeah.
Yeah, I've got a picture of that up right now. That looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good use case right there, yeah. For sure.
I think you can see it maybe with one of the close-up pictures, but I don't know if they are up there. But yeah.
I've got a couple of those pictures up there. That's really awesome. Very cool. So there you go. Good question from Exploding Coyote. That's definitely the sort of thing you could do. If you're going to fully cover the piece in metal powder, though, just use normal resin. Yeah. We've got another one here from Sin Toxic. Which tips can you give us in terms of creating color gradients with an airbrush? Oh.
Color gradients.
Yeah, I mean, that is one of the major benefits you have to using an airbrush, is it comes out with a nice feathered edge if you're going to do a lot of gradients. I don't actually do a lot of... I don't take advantage of that very often. I just use the airbrush to use like airbrush specific paints.
Just for one color, yeah.
Yeah, I just cover everything.
Yeah. I did it with my Zelda costume, but I just have to check if I have one piece I can show.
Yeah,
maybe.
Go for it. I've got some pictures up here with you got a couple of corgis in that picture. That's awesome.
Yeah,
every costume is improved if you have corgis in it, I think, anyway. In the meantime, let's see if we have any more examples here. More Skyrim armor, of course. Here we go. We've got some ebony armor, I believe. Really cool. Oh man, that location is awesome. I wish I had a old castle cave near where I live.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of those. They're so nice. They're just runes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so cool. What did you find?
Okay, I found this. I actually have, as I said already, I have all my things just everywhere in the closet. The Zelda costume is still in the suitcase.
Yep.
Yeah, so maybe he meant this one.
Yeah, I think so for sure. Yeah.
So what I did is actually I just had this one color underneath. So that's one color, and I just sprayed this with the airbrush, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. And then the higher spots were painted after.
Um, these ones, the raised bits.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So I did the base color, and then I just used the airbrush. And when the color just went everywhere to the raised bit, I just wiped them off and then colored them with an airbrush, with a brush.
Yeah. There you go.
So,
That's a good example. That's the sort of thing that you can once you get an airbrush, you can do that sort of stuff. That's very hard to pull off with a normal paintbrush. So
yeah,
that's why I recommend everyone gets an airbrush, and then just play with it. Like whatever airbrush you have is only good enough if you get good at using it. So just practice a lot, and you can always paint things again. If it looks terrible, you can just paint over it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you for the question, Syntoxic. Got a few more here. Red Badger is curious. Another airbrush question. Is getting a cheap airbrush worth the time? I want to start airbrushing, but there is a huge range of prices. What I want to know, what was the first airbrush that you got?
Okay, mine actually comes from a friend, Zoe, and she's in the chat.
Yeah.
She had this very cheap airbrush, and I was like, okay, I need to airbrush my Link costume. And she was like, okay, just take it with you. And so I borrowed it for a couple of weeks or months until I finished it, and I was very happy.
Yeah.
Seriously, I don't know the brand. I think it was something with Monsoon or something with that. But it's a very cheap one, and I would go for it.
Yeah. Was it a single action or a dual action? Did you have to?
I think single, you just have one trigger, and that's it.
Yeah. So I had the same thing. I bought a compressor, like a shop compressor, and it came with an airbrush. And I was like, oh, cool. I guess I own an airbrush now. And it was the cheapest one you could get. Single action, siphon fed. And I still use it. I have better airbrushes, but if you just need to like put paint out, no problem. Like I was saying, yeah, getting good at using it is more important than having a really good one. Now, if you have special things you want to do with the airbrush, then getting a nicer airbrush is recommended. But if you're just getting started, just having an airbrush will unlock a world of potential. What you can accomplish.
Definitely.
Yeah, you can make that Zelda armor.
Yeah, that it was the only one that had this comic style. So I have this armor with Skyrim and everything. So I just brush everything on because it looks like battle damage.
Yeah.
And weathered and everything. It's fantasy and no problem. But this one was, it's more like anime. So I needed to have this airbrush.
Very good. Good luck with your airbrush adventures, Red Badger. Thank you for the question. Let's see. Nick Advanced Cosplay has a question. He's doing a Kylo Ren helmet, and he's trying to get a spotty or splatter finish. Let's see here. Okay, so he's curious about the paint job. If you look at this picture, so I'll drop a link in the chat. It looks to me like the helmet it's all black. It's all a matte finish, but then there's like a spotty, shiny bits on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have some ideas, but I'm curious to hear how you might tackle something like that.
So yeah, that looks like a shiny finish and something like matte over there. I don't really know how I would do this. maybe I would probably go with the airbrush first, and then with a regular brush, and somehow it splatters.
Yeah, for sure. Like if you put paint on a brush and then like hit it against something, it'll splatter. Like people do that to make blood splatter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do the same thing with just have a matte paint and a gloss paint sprayed on the matte and then splatter on the gloss. That should work, I think, right?
Yeah. Because it has some gradient in there. So maybe it was really airbrushed first and then just splatter with the brush.
That's a good idea. Yeah. I bet that would work. I'll tell you what, though. Who left this? Nick, why don't you give it a try and then report back? Let us know how it turned out.
Yeah, show some pictures.
Yeah. Post a picture in the Prop Tarts group. I'd be very interested to see how that turns out. And like I was saying before with the airbrush stuff, if it didn't turn out okay, you can just paint it again. You get infinity tries. Let's see. We've got a couple of questions left here. This one comes from Testing Limits. He's excited about Black Panther movie coming out. He's curious. His favorite superhero is Iron Man. But he's back on the Spider-Man bandwagon. But he's curious what our favorite superheroes are. Do you have a favorite superhero?
Favorite superhero?
I'm going to take a quick moment to ask the chat who they think my favorite superhero is. So, Prop Darts in the chat, you're going to have 30 seconds to guess who my favorite superhero is. So, start posting in the chat now. Okay. Who is your favorite superhero?
Okay, well, I grew up with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
With the cartoon and everything. Since then, it's still my favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just when I see Spider-Man, it's just like, yeah, Spidey. And I don't know if I have a really favorite. Otherwise, it's really just maybe it's more nostalgia. So it's Spider-Man still.
Yeah, Spider-Man's a good one. I like him an awful lot. The chat knows me very well. Wolverine is my favorite superhero. So they all got it. Sing. And funny enough too, Old Man Logan is one of my favorite costumes to wear because it's comfortable.
Oh yeah.
And I got to stab. Did I get you at DragonCon? Did I stab you in the head?
I think no. I don't have a picture of that.
Oh
Maybe
no.
You did.
All right. Maybe Old Man Logan makes a repeat performance at DragonCon again this year.
It was a great costume. I saw the movie and yeah, I was a bit sad.
Yeah. So yes, Wolverine is my favorite superhero, and always has been and always will be. Thank you, Testing Limits. That's a good question. Let's see. Hey Patch, our last question here is from Hey Patch. What would you use to make a mold for casting metal? It's a good one. What silicone do you use for casting pewter?
For the pewter, I use it's mold mag. No, it's not mold max. Mold. What is it? I don't know the name. It's just it's mold max 60.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
40 is the one I use usually, and 30 and 60 is the highest one. Yeah. So that's it's the red one, red silicone.
Yeah. I think it's good to like 500. It claims to be good to like 500 or 600 degrees Fahrenheit. I think we could double check that.
Yeah. I think 300 degrees Celsius, up to 300.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you can't really cast aluminum or gold or silver. You can't. It's just really pewter, very low melt.
Yeah, or maybe lead, but I wouldn't use it that. Okay, 560 degrees Fahrenheit is the useful temperature max for Mold Max 60, which is good for pewter. We actually did a test. Again, we're going to do another pewter video soon, but we poured molten pewter into Mold Max 30.
Oh, wow.
And it survived.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it got a little burned. But it works. If you need to get a couple of castings out of a Mold Max 30, let's see, the useful max temperature on that is only 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's quite a bit lower. Pewter has a higher melting temperature of that, but it still works. It'll just eventually destroy the mold.
I didn't expect that, but okay.
Yeah. Again, we have a video coming out soon that'll go over that. It's really fun.
Maybe someone needs to try to use silver and put it in the Mold Max 60.
Just to see what happens.
Yeah.
What does a silver ingot go for? Does they sell those on Amazon? Let's find out.
Yeah. I just know it's somewhere, the melting point is over 1000 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. Oh, they don't sell it on Amazon. But I don't even have a way to melt it that high. I'd have to build a forge. Maybe I'll do that someday.
Let's do forge.
Good question, Hey Patch. But if you're gonna cast metal in silicone, pewter kind of is your only option. If you're gonna do anything hotter than that, then you got to get into much different types of mold making. So lost wax.
Also lead free.
Yes, make sure whatever it is lead free. Good question. And I hope that means that you're gonna try and do some metal casting there, Hey Patch. And if you do, you better make a video about it, buddy. I'll be watching. Well, I'll tell you what, that is all of the questions for today. So thank you everyone in the chat for playing along and sending in some awesome questions. I'm also reminded, because Brittany put a link in the chat here, that Anna has a book out, since we were talking so much about molding and casting. Yeah. So I've got it up on the screen here. You've got a bunch of fantastic patterns and books, including the Foam Smooth books over in your store. But if folks want to dive in and learn more about molding, you should go grab Anna's book.
Exactly.
Everything's over at Folkenstal.com. You can find links to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of that over there, which you should go over and give Anna a follow. Buy my books.
soon to be books.
Yeah, you got another one you're working on?
Yeah,
Ooh.
almost done with the pictures, with the text, everything. So
that is awesome.
There will be a new book.
Do you have you let the secret out on what it's about? Or you...
I can tell you now if you want.
Yeah, get an exclusive.
Okay, so it's a book and it will come out in May.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there will be copies at MCM London Comicon.
Oh, awesome.
Sold there by a friend. And it's a book about cosplay flex.
Cosplay?
If you ever heard the thermoplastics.
I have not. That's awesome.
You have not?
Is this a specific material?
It's just thermoplastics, and we have cosplay flex. We have foam. They have foam. They have pebbles, like the small. What is it? Like these. It's just.
Oh yeah. That's awesome. Okay, I've got the website, the Cosplay Flex website up.
I did actually a lot of my props are made with these.
Oh, cool. So, yeah.
So
Awesome.
the Pip-Boy and a couple of costumes. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I've got their website up right here if people want to go check out Cosplay Flex, and I look forward to seeing the new book when it comes out.
Yeah. And sorry, chat, if I couldn't follow you. I just had to concentrate on Bill. It's like there is a question and there is the chat, and it's like, oh my god.
Oh, the chat is very distracting. They are.
So hello, chat. Hey, that beard.
Speaking of, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today in the chat. You guys are awesome. Anna, thank you so much for hanging out with us for the last hour and answering questions. I'm excited. I know it's still a ways out, but I'm excited to hang out with you again at Dragon Con this year, and looking forward to what you've been working on the next few months, especially at Giant's Toe. I think it's great.
Yeah, that will come out very soon, I guess. Yeah. Oh god.
That's all we have for you guys this week. Thank you again so much for hanging out, and we'll see you next week on another exciting episode of Prop Live Q&A.